please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand for a moment of silence. Okay. Mr. Hoball, any additions or changes to agenda items?
No.
Okay. Any public comments? Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Hoball, your superintendent report, please.
Fantastic, thank you. This month, it's time for our presentation from Pittsboro Primary School.
Yay.
And Mrs. Alcorn and her staff, so I will turn it over to them.
Okay, prepared to be delighted.
We are ready.
Prepared to be delighted. All right, I'm going to put here, because I had to write this all down. Again, Susan Alcorn, the very proud principal of Pittsboro Primary, and I'm just so delighted. It's just my pleasure and delight to share a program that just captures the spirit of collaboration, leadership, and just joyful learning in not only our school, but also Pittsboro Elementary. So the program I'm speaking about is what we call our Book Buddies program. And to help share this evening, I have a team, a few of the crew, that help implement Book Buddies. It's primarily our first grade right here, and they do it in first grade. And I have the fabulous Diane Losses, followed by the fabulous Alyssa Nelson, the fabulous Caitlin Stratemeyer, and the fabulous Betsy Owens. And of course, McKenna's here to support too. So anyway, they're a
She's the
lovely
best
team.
one.
Yes, they're a lovely team who's just put together this incredible collaborative program, so we wanted to share it with you. So Book Buddies, just a little bit, and they'll tell you about it, is a collaborative program between PPS's first grade and PES's fifth grade. And through this collaboration, our younger children are paired with an older child in fifth grade, and they serve as mentors, and they come together and they read on a regular basis throughout the school year.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the goals are really simple. They're to strengthen, obviously, reading fluency and comprehension, while also building those leadership skills in children, in our fifth graders, and confidence in all of our learners. And I mean all of our learners. So what makes it really special is it just benefits everyone, our younger children, our older children. I think it really benefits even us as the adults. I know my benefit is just I go by and I peek in the classrooms and you just see it. It's just heart-filling. But it also helps our first graders in particular gain valuable practice in reading, and with a very supportive partner. At the same time, fifth graders step into that role of mentor and role model, so they really feel good about what they're doing and helping others and service to others, which is incredible. So they guide, the fifth graders help guide, encourage, and also celebrate their younger learners and all that. So just again, the program would not be possible without this amazing crew here and their collaborative partners at PES. So shout out to all of them. Anyway, it's been just wonderful. And of course, we have to celebrate our students, and you're going to hear from some of them directly through recording. Just watching a fifth grader patiently support a first grader with a tricky word, or seeing a fifth grader being with pride after they help them successfully, maybe help decode a word or whatever it might be. So these moments not only build stronger readers in the younger and the older children, but also just that stronger collaborative school community. So it's that synergistic effect. So I'm going to let you hear directly from this incredible team as they talk about Book Buddies. But before I turn it over to them, I have to say, just from me to you, from my heart to yours, thank you so much in putting just what you do every day into children and learning and just growing them as learners, as people, making them best burros. So from me to you. Gotcha. All right, with that, I'm going to start with, I think, Mrs. Owens. And shout out to Mrs. Owens, showing her Canva skills. I'm a beginning or advanced beginner of Canva right now. And she did an amazing presentation.
I'm
it's
growing my
adorable.
Canva skills, so it's okay.
I'm so proud
Yeah,
of
I'm
you.
a
You're going to come
beginner
teach me.
No
Okay.
promises. No
All right,
promises.
take it away.
This is way out of my comfort zone, so I'm going to this side. I leaned over and said,
We're like 6-year-olds. Just,
okay,
that,
perfect.
that's,
Do I have
yes.
to stand at that podium?
Yes.
So I just put together a Canva presentation for you because I think it's easier for you to see and understand what we do when you see the pictures of our students and the joy that they have when they're working with one another. So, of course, we want to foster a lifelong love of reading and really build community amongst the children and the two buildings. Oftentimes, it's rare to have a pre-K or K through 2 building and a 3 through 5. Yeah, we share a parking lot. Yeah, we share buses. But how do we come together and work together? And we're seeing that happen, and we're building that community and that bridge between our students. So if you'll hit the next slide for me. I'm very much so a planner, and so when the program started last year, there was one first grade teacher who started it. Her first grade classroom paired with her daughter's 5th grade classroom, and it was super successful. And so then the other teachers started to find out, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? Can we do that? And so the more we thought about it, I wanted it to be meaningful. I didn't want just the kids to come to the school, sit down, here's your book, and read. I wanted it to be meaningful. I wanted it to be a positive impact on their education. And I wanted to value our time, especially if we're taking that away from our academics and our regular routine. So our whole goal was to build reading fluency and comprehension skills, to build leadership skills, especially amongst the 5th graders as they're becoming more independent and they're getting ready to go to the middle school, and that's big stuff. We want to make sure that we're developing their leadership skills and that our kids can see them in public and rely on them to be making good choices, and that they're still kids, but they need to be able to be positive role models as well. And then, of course, to build confidence for both the readers as well. Will you hit the next slide? And then 3 times when you're ready. So I'm very much a planner, so when we started, I said, I don't mind doing it, but I really want a plan. I want to know where we're going. I don't want to gather materials last minute and be scrambling and toss the books out. And so we started by pairing each first grade class with a 5th grade class. Next, we collaborated, a 5th grade teacher collaborated with the first grade teacher, and we paired the students based on their reading abilities so that they could support one another and be confident in what they were doing. And then we determined that holding bi-weekly meetings would be important, 1, to maintain interest, and 2, we didn't want to cause too much disruption to our regular learning. We wanted to value the time that we have, especially to the minutes in each subject area. So I continued to plan, and so I said, but now what? What are we doing each month? How do we make this meaningful? And so Mrs. Nelson and I created like this bingo board. So each month we meet 2 times. And so I determined like in September, we would bring a specific genre, and then we had the follow-up activity. So that way I could go ahead and make it and be prepared and start thinking ahead and pre-planning. And then the second time we met, the 5th grade teachers could be responsible for pulling the books, the genre, it states the genre, and the activities, so that we could just prep all of the materials in advance and be prepared. So we laid this out for the entire school year. We have made changes to it. We found at one point, like, oh, it would be more fun if we were making portraits of our buddy instead of on paper with pipe cleaners. How fun would it be at the end after they read about friendship to make their portraits out of pipe cleaners? So we have changed it just to continue to pique their interest and to keep the kids engaged as well. But the books always correlate with a craft or a follow-up activity. And then every time we complete it, we put a stamp on the month, and then the next time we meet, we'll put a stamp on the second time. And once their bingo board is filled at the end, then we'll have a celebration at the end. Regardless, we're having a celebration. Every kid gets a stamp every single time, even if we have to cancel for some reason. It just keeps us on track and organized, and it gives the kids to look forward to something as well. And the next slide. So here's a little bit of our kiddos in all different classrooms, reading in action with their buddy. And oftentimes, I know, like my son, I'm like, hey, mom wants to take a picture, and I get the mom look like, seriously. But oftentimes, like as soon as that phone is out and we're taking pictures, they instantly lean into their buddy and they smile.
Yeah, you're not mom then.
I'm definitely not mom. I'm not mom, so they always smile. But we're seeing it carry over into like the Brew and Dash. The 5th graders came out and they were like cheering for our kids, and like my mom heart was like, oh, that's so, and our kids are so excited. Or at a football game earlier this school year, one of the 5th graders went up to one of my first graders' parents, and she was saying, I read with your daughter, and this is what she did really well, and some of the things we're working on. And so we're seeing it carry over. So here's some happy pictures of their cute little faces in action. And on the next slide, I said that we always follow up with an activity. So we did, the first activity we did, we had our students read books about friendship, and when they were done, they each made a friendship bracelet. and then they traded it with their buddy. So they both have a bracelet from one another. In January, we read books about snow, and I was really surprised to learn that students no longer know how to make snowflakes. I thought that was a given thing that kids just kind of did, and they really aren't doing that anymore. But 5th grade and 1st grade learned how to make snowflakes, and then they supported one another in making them as well. And then I just jumped to February. We read books about love and kindness, and Valentine's Day, of course. And then the students did a STEM activity with your conversation hearts, where they were building different structures with the candy hearts. Or could they build, how tall could they build a tower using just one hand, or their hand that's non-dominant? And so they had a lot of fun. And then, of course, at the end, they enjoyed eating them and talking with their partner. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Ms. Losses.
Okay, so the children, they did so many different activities, they read different genres, but this one I really loved. They paired their reading with writing, and then afterwards, we read some pigeon books, and then afterwards, they did a direct draw with me, and then they wrote their own books. They were so creative and so fun. It was just really cool to, have them read their books and then have their own book that they took home. And they were so proud of their drawings and their creative ideas. It was just a real joy to watch them interact too and share their creative ideas. I love that. You can go ahead and, so we're gonna click on each child. These friends.
What I love most about book is that you don't know how they can help us read the book, so they can just write up their own. What I love most about books is that every time we have book buddy and somebody says something. My favorite part about studies is getting to spend time.
So I can tell you for my students, like every time when they know it's Friday, like every other week, and they know they're gonna read with their book buddy, I keep hearing it all, Ms. Law says it's a book buddy day, are we gonna see our book buddies? And so the joy that it brings them just to share a book with other students, with the older kids, they're excited to spend that time with them. It encourages them to just engage in a book together, and they just really value that time together. So it's very heartwarming to see. And they could tell you a lot more things that they love about it. So some of the skills that we are doing, we're having lots of communication. The kids are learning how to not only speak, but to listen, take turns, share. It builds confidence for the little ones as well as the big ones. Community and building relationships is such a big deal to me. I love seeing them interact and be supportive. I've seen it too, like with book buddies and with Bruin buddies, just the relationships that it develops. It's such an important, valued opportunity. Improves their skills, so they do fluency so much better. The older ones can help them, or even the younger ones help them to sound out hard words. They build vocabulary. They show expression when they read. So many wonderful skills. It develops their leadership, and of course they're super excited every single time. So some of the things that are practiced during book studies, sometimes, well, as you saw that we had the bingo board, but each teacher tailors it their own way. So sometimes they might practice story elements, main topic, key details, making predictions, retelling the story, summarizing text features, following directions, communication skills, reading character traits, and friendship. So not only all the social things and building a love of learning, but they also talk about retelling story and a lot of comprehension skills as well.
That one's
I'm
fine.
going to turn it over to you.
So I'm the essential skills teacher at Pittsburgh Primary, and Mrs. Nelson and I had a shared student that was included within Book Buddies, and so I just want to touch on the meaningful inclusion opportunities. And as the program goes, looking at both students who benefit core academics and then students who might not be necessarily inclusion for that core academics, but then everything else that can come with that. So the first thing is student models. Having a teacher tell you an expectation versus having a fifth grader model and expectation definitely has an impact for our first graders. And so having students that might be working on just basic student role, having that natural modeling from a fifth grader, I think really played a big part for our students. The second is language goals. Obviously, we have provisions with a speech therapist, but having that just elevated fifth grade language within storytelling, within the STEM activities and all of that definitely can elevate for that student and be a great model. Another thing that I want to touch on is just behavior goals. So in some of our individual education plans, we will have a provision just to work on behavior. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes, where we'll do social stories. Being able to model with same age peers is one thing. Being able to have that back and forth with a teacher is another thing. Being able to build that STEM activity based on a story and practice that frustration in the moment with a fifth grader who might have some elevated skills, modeling, oh, well, if our hearts fall down, this is what we could do instead, can really have an impact for our students. And the fourth that I want to touch on is story character models. When we are having a student maybe having issues at recess or having a peer conflict, if we can take that out and use a character in a story who might be having the same issues, it kind of gives a different lens for that student to be able to then problem solve. And it's not a mom telling a student or their child, hey, let's do this. It's not a teacher necessarily telling. It's that collaborative conversations with peers and fifth graders, older students. So my part was basically making sure we had support in instructional assistance, making sure I was talking to Ms. Nelson, what does the student need support in? But Book Buddies, I think, can be a much larger global thing that can meet different provisions or support different provisions as well.
Okay.
Who has the last one?
Oh, it's me again. So we are just going to make sure that we celebrate all their reading successes and then just our time together. We're going to have a popsicle party with the students and get them together and let them have some time just to have some social fun time together. So just
End of the year?
End of the year.
Okay.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, we have really enjoyed having the book buddies come on over and be with us, and I think it's been really great for relations too, because the older ones look after the little ones and just really good for community. So we're happy to celebrate them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a few questions.
Yeah.
You have sparked in me. I used to do Book Buddies a million years ago, and now I want to do it again. I'm over here trying to plan how I would make it work in my day and twice a month. So great, because you sparked that in me. Second of all, is it 1-to-1? Do your numbers match up enough to be 1-to-1?
Somewhat. So it's mostly 1-to-1. A couple kids might have 2.
Sure. And then if they're gone on Friday, it's like, don't be gone on the Fridays we have Book Buddies, please.
We do a little
Yeah.
arrangement, yeah.
Which is kind of good, but then you want the consistency, but great. I want to hear how your party goes and all that. I mean, this is fabulous. These are the things we need. This is what keeps our community together and tight-knit, and when we see each other out in public, and be like, that's my book buddy. And I love this.
How many years have you guys been doing this for?
This is the second year.
Second
Mrs.
year.
Mack started last year.
Okay.
And then we joined in this year as well.
Okay.
Okay.
And my other request is if I could hypothetically have that bingo board and it got sent to my email, I wouldn't be upset because then I could use it too.
We did also, I should say, my students, as we're talking about celebrating, Mrs. Burkhart from the elementary school, they're working on 5th grade time capsules, and my students all wrote a card to their buddies as well, so when they graduate, there will be a card with a picture.
Stop, I can't handle that. That's,
That's cool.
They asked for it from the teachers, and then I said, well, do you think I could have their buddy? And then we put pictures in, and to read what the kids wrote to their buddies
Wow.
was that moment of like the mom and me where I'm like, okay, you're going up too fast. So sometimes it does feel like a lot of work on our end. Like I know you said you're considering it again, but the
But it's
joy
worth
that
it.
it brings the students, that's why we continue to do it. Even like as we've talked about, maybe we pare it down to once a month because we have so much to
I
fit
know.
in the day in such a little amount of time. That when you see the joy it brings the kids, it's hard to even back it down to once a month.
sure, I get it. And if you can afford it and, steal from Peter and Rob Paul or whatever, then it's like, okay, let's just do it.
Yes.
It's great.
I will say, after all the years in my mid-50s, I still remember my second grade book buddy, Tia Matafari. So it's a, you know,
Right,
it's a big
these are the
thing.
things that they're gonna walk away and know. They're not gonna remember what they did on iLearn in 3rd grade, but they're gonna remember their book
Yeah.
buddy from 1st grade.
Yeah.
They will for the rest of their lives.
That is a fact.
And will they be in high, I'm in here thinking, when they open that senior portfolio, what grade will these 1st graders be in?
It'd be in.
Would they be in 8th or 9th?
They'll be in 8th, right?
I don't know, I can't math.
I
Yeah.
think they'll be in 8th.
But, you know, $1 million. Love it. And you know I'm gonna harass you for that bingo board, right?
Go right ahead.
Good, good. Yay, yay. We needed a bright light. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Alcorn.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I told you, it was a, it's a
It
delight.
is
It
delight.
Very
It's a
delightful.
delight.
Very.
It really is.
These
And
are the
then-
moments that really
Oh, Now
matter.
that we have a slushy machine that works, you can maybe use that instead of popsicles. You know?
And if you wanted to invite the board for a slushie, I mean, if you
Yeah.
wanted to, you could.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you know,
works. We got one that works,
finally.
good.
Thank you all very much for being here. And if you want to stay and listen to all the other exciting things, that's great. But if you don't,
It's really a lot of fun.
but we understand if you don't. Thank you, thank you. Good,
It's awesome.
Thank you.
great, 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 great. Mr. Hoball, what do you got for us
So I just
next?
want to run through a few other things that have been going
Yes,
on around the
please.
district.
Yes,
We had the
please.
Dollars for Scholars Bonathon. That was a week ago Saturday.
Yes.
And their goal is always to try to raise what they got last year. You know, eventually, I don't know, you're going to hit that mark.
Sure.
This year, they beat it. And we
Great.
think we'll be in the ballpark of $58,000.
Wowzers, wowzers.
And those are phone calls, I mean, that's just community donating.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
it was amazing. It was awesome. I got to go and spend some time there for quite a while to help, and I don't know if I helped, but
I heard you were there all day.
Yeah, everybody
Yes,
was saying
everybody
Mr. Hoball was there,
complimented
Mr.
you on
Hoball
that,
was there.
yes.
That meant a lot.
I'm on the committee, I'm supposed to be.
Well, but when the big boss is at things, people notice, and
But
that's
it was
what's-
awesome to see the kids. It's just so great to see kids doing things that are kind of out of their element, and some of
Sure.
them really thrive. And then you had some of them that looked like they were petrified and scared to death. And I'm like, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Great experience to try something new.
Get out of your comfort
So
zone.
it went really, really well.
Good,
So
good, so glad,
it was excellent. And,
so glad. So
Kathy
glad.
Waite has this thing down like
Like a sign. I mean,
it's,
just-
yeah, smooth.
Kathy
So-
Wade does a super job with that program.
Yeah.
No
That's
doubt.
so awesome.
So it's gonna be
So
phenomenal.
awesome.
We get scholarship night, all the kids that are able to now have
Yes.
scholarships,
Yes.
help make a little bit of a dent into college, so
Mhm.
it's just really good stuff. So
Good.
that was phenomenal.
Great.
Next, I just wanna make everybody aware, the Little Mermaid musical is coming up this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So there's Thursday night, Friday night, and 2 on Saturday.
Mhm.
So if you're able, or anybody else watching out there in YouTube land,
I will be
awesome.
there Saturday evening with a bunch of 6th grade girls. Yep.
Congratulations.
I know, I'm a lucky woman.
So I'm planning on Friday night, so I just hope I can stay
Okay.
awake with this time change thing. to make sure
We'll hope.
But
Right.
our kids
Good.
are so talented, and every
They
year I
are.
go, and I'm always like, oh my gosh, they're so talented.
Amazed.
So, and I heard nothing but absolute positive things from the elementary folks when they did the tour. They said, it's gonna be awesome.
Good,
So,
good, good, good.
put that on the calendar if you're able.
Yes.
D, last Thursday at the high school, we had the Indiana Court of Appeals come and actually heard a case. Mr. Lowe and I sat there, got to listen to the case. It was quite interesting. But it was a phenomenal opportunity for the seniors were there and some of the juniors that could get out for history class to listen to an actual case of appeals. Then the judges, when they got done hearing the case, each side got like 20 minutes to present their case. Then the judges, you know, they what do you call it, retired the session basically, and then
They took questions.
and then took questions for another 20 minutes from the kids. And it was really awesome. The kids had the opportunity to ask them some, you know, just all kinds of things, anything you can think of basically along the legal
As long as
lines.
it wasn't about the case.
Yep.
Okay,
And-
what an
And
opportunity.
they
was
encouraged,
awesome.
they encouraged all of them to go to law school.
Okay,
And I'm going to throw a pitch in
yes.
because one of my former students
Mm-hmm.
was actually one of the lawyers
Really?
that
Really?
for the Court of Appeals.
Yeah.
So I got to go talk to Alex Stankovic for a few minutes, which
I
was awesome to
love
see.
that.
But I appreciate the justices were even like, hey, you guys out here, she graduated from this high school. You know, so you can do this too.
Great.
And so I think that's always good for our kids to be like, okay, I could do this, you know, like those things are there.
When you see it, you think, yeah,
They
Yeah,
asked a lot of very good questions.
good.
They did.
so it was just an awesome experience. I never really see it myself and I was like,
Sure.
oh, that's kind of neat. to
The
see how
shock
that process
was the fact
works.
that it was a real case.
Really?
What a
I don't
great
know that the
opportunity.
lawyers were too happy about it, being there, but one of the kids asked like, how does that get picked? And like, we basically just tell them, this is what we're doing, and you have to show up here to present your case, and that's how it goes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like if I volunteered, like you know, like the defendant didn't volunteer to be like, yeah, I'm taking my case
No,
there.
there's no way he
It was
volunteered.
drawn out like that.
Wow.
No way.
So that was really phenomenal. That was a great experience for the kids to be able to see that in person
Yeah.
and to bring it to the high school.
Yeah, there was a lot of, well, Judge Stewart from
Mhm.
Danville was there, along with several other people from the county. It
So-
was neat.
Really good.
It's great to get them in our schools too.
And the last thing I'm gonna throw out, we'll get out there in front because we know it's gonna be coming.
Yep,
Our community meeting on 21st
yep.
at the high school, 6:30.
Big
So
night,
just
big
putting that
night.
out there, and I'll try not to bore people for too long, but really just kind of
Your numbers are fast.
just present like where we are as a district and just enlighten people onto how school finance works, how some of the things in our district work, and just try to educate folks.
Yes, yes. Education is
6:30.
power.
And the high school auditorium.
Yes. Yes, it's gonna be a great night. Great night. All right, let's look at our consent agenda. We have the minutes from a work session on February 10th, 2026. We have a regular session on February 10th, 2026. Do I have a first to approve the minutes from the work session and the regular session?
Yes.
I have the first from JD. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second from Brad. There's been a first and a second. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We have the payment of claims for the accounts payable from 3/10/26. Do I have a first to approve that?
First.
Got a first from Ron. Do I have a second? Got a second from Jamie. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Let's look at our financials. We have from January 31st, 2025. Is that 25 or is that supposed to?
Should be 26.
Perfect. January 31st, 2026. We have the fund report. We have the appropriations report. We have the revenue report. We have the transfer report. Do I have a motion to do I have a motion to approve these financials from January 31st, 2026?
I'll make motion.
I got a first from Brad. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I got a second from JD. Any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Let's check out our February 28th, 2026. We have our fund report. We have our appropriation report. We have our revenue report, our transfer report. Do I have a first?
First.
Got a first from Ron. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Emily. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. And then we have our payroll report from 2/13/26, 2/20/26, 2/27/26, and 3/6/26. Do I have a motion to approve the payroll report?
Yes.
I got a first from JD. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second from Brad. Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. We have our personnel report. Do I have a first to approve our personnel report? I got a
First.
first from Ron. I got a second from Jamie. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Perfect. The motion passes. Our action items. Mr. Hoball, talk to us about grade level caps for the 2026 through 27 school year transfer students, please.
Yeah, so we're looking at the number of children that we have in some of our grades. And that would end up being 5th grade for next year, 7th grade for next year in our life skills programs. We are asking to basically cap those because at this point, thinking about the number of homes being built in Pittsboro and how many more children may actually move into the district, accepting transfers in those grades, both of those classes are already in the 160s. And as they move to middle school, it gets to be a major problem
Yes.
when we start creeping into 170s for us because we basically have one teacher per subject level. It makes class sizes get pretty large.
Yeah.
And we had this a few years ago, we had 180 kids going through, and I just remember like some of them were getting close to 40 kids, especially now with some of the new laws that are put in place in terms of kids automatically getting into the high
Yeah.
class, and some of those sections may look rather large.
Yes.
And so it's just basically to try to help us control those 3 areas. Right now, every other class, we can take on some kids, but those 3.
It's just current 5th grade, current 7th,
No, it'll be next year's 5th grade.
next grade.
So right now, they're 4th
Fourth.
grade and 6th grade.
Okay,
So it'll be next year's 5th and 7th.
okay.
Because starting April 1st, we'll open up the transfer window. So we kind of need this figured
Yes.
out before we get to that point. So that way when parents are applying, they know, like, oh,
I can't do 6 or,
correct.
Excuse me,
I won't be
yeah.
able to send kids in those grades because we just want to make sure we leave room for the kids who move here.
yes,
Sure.
I agree to that.
Yep.
Good, good. Do I have a first?
Yes.
Do I have a first from JD to approve the grade level caps for the 2026 through 2027 school year transfer students? Do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a second from Emily. Any questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Mr. Hoball, talk to us about the staff leave request.
Yeah, so in your packet, there's a letter attached for a staff member who, in our teacher's contract, they are allowed to petition the board to take up to 20 days of their actual personal sick leave and apply it more to a family illness concept if that family member is one of a direct family member. So like spouse, child, essentially, and a parent would be the other one that you're allowed to use them for.
Okay,
This staff member is run out basically of her family illness days and is just petitioning the board to be able to use 20 of her sick to be able to help her child.
and she has the days in her bank.
She has these
She's
days.
accrued them
Correct,
because she's been an employee long enough to have these days in.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah, the days are there, so it's not like she doesn't have those days. She's just asking basically to be able to move those
for the length of that.
for those, and the contract states 20 is the max
Okay,
that we can do. So that would be what you'd like to do.
okay,
I make a motion.
okay. Yeah, any discussion on that before we?
No.
Okay. I have a first from JD to approve the staff leave request. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second from Brad. Any discussions? All those, thank you, brain fart. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, the motion passes for the staff leave request. Mr. Hoball, can you talk to us about your transportation routing program, please?
Yes, that was attached to your packets as well. Essentially, this probably comes with some background. So the transportation program that we inherited when we took over transportation, essentially, it will not update, it doesn't work. We found out more or less due to the actual knowledge our former transportation person had, he was able just to do it all because he knows community.
Sure.
He was able to do the roads, everything else. With our new transportation director, she's like, some of the roads we even drive on aren't even on the program, Dave. Like, the map's not even updated. And because it's rather, I don't know the best way to put it, old and doesn't communicate, it's not gonna work. Early on, when I was doing this, I had Brownsburg come in one day to try to help me get kids on routes. He sat there for 2 hours, entered every kid in, because they use the same program over there, except they use the one I'm asking to go with tonight. He goes, okay, should be great. Came in the next morning, they're all gone. This happened multiple times, not for me, but for our interim transportation directors, we'll call him. he did the same thing, ran into the same problem. Like you'd enter them, they'd be gone. Next day, he'd enter them again, they'd be gone. So it just won't work. To boot, to go with that, just trying to have that in place, but then two other things that the new program would allow is, one is basically like a geo-tracking. We would know where the buses are. So as they sit over there in transportation office on screen, they can know where the buses are.
So they'd just be like this, moving on.
Exactly. You can do that. The other piece that goes with that is it records it, so that if anything ever happened, we would actually have recordings, or if like a parent calls in and says, "You gotta stop my house. Let me look that up." No, bus such and such was at your door and sat there for 30 seconds and then took off. So things like that can all be on there. So we can track stuff, figure out all those types of deals that go with it. So that's nice. I think the option is there to be able to someday maybe even make that type of thing available to parents to be able to track it, from what I understand.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Has
But
that capability?
that comes with some things we'll have to work on in terms
Sure.
of like, I don't wanna see parents just stopping early and get the kid off the bus.
No,
You
no,
know,
no,
stuff
no.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But, that's what I want.
But we have options. It's
Huge
kind of-
publicity, yeah, but we
yeah.
can work towards those
Yeah,
types of
okay.
deals.
Good.
The other nice part that comes with it is, right now, if we have a sub, which we have our director, but we have Dreams, we have other subs, they have to handwrite the routes out. And I know this because I did it. So like, I'd have the driver tell me, like, I need you to handwrite everything out and tell me where every stop is. And then I can go back through, and then like, as you're driving the bus, you got like 3 pieces of paper, and you're like, okay, I gotta get to 2242, and you're like, okay, I'm there. And then it's like, okay, next stop. This comes with basically an iPad that has the route all linked up, that'll tell you exactly where to go, what to do.
So it's like MapQuest you're watching.
Correct. So
Oh,
you can
that'd be
just
cool.
hand it to them and be like,
I
here's
could
route,
even run
here's
a
route
bus.
1, thank
Yeah.
you. And they can climb in the bus
Yeah.
and go.
Okay,
There's just no reason not to be efficient.
yeah,
Not in
Correct.
2026.
No.
right.
We have our transportation program off the ground. We've got a great leader over there. Next.
Yeah.
And so it's pricey, as you can see, but with the opportunity to get this is one of those cooperative purchasing, so they have to go out and bid these things to get the
Yep.
lowest bids they can get. So we're working through a cooperative purchasing program, and all these programs it costs a lot. The other piece on this, to make this publicly known, is it'll take a year from the time we send them the PO to probably get to completion. So it's
Darn.
not something that happens like I won't have the answer tomorrow. Like, it's going to take some time, because they basically have to come in and rebuild the entire thing. But I'm coming to you tonight
An instant.
to ask for approval to move forward.
Okay. Any questions or discussions before?
Well, and could this also lead to cost savings as well in the future with like routes and stuff, like getting
Possibly,
like
yes.
more feasible, cost saving routes with gas and,
Better
buses?
Then
you
in the,
know,
po-
that kind of-
it'll make it way easier, like if we end up, because it works every year. Some kids move off the routes, some kids move on to adjust those routes, and then to make those decisions like, okay, can we condense?
Yeah.
Yes, the potential is there. Now, whether or not we're able to do it, because our district is very spread out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, I'm sorry, you got a kid that lives on the Putnam County line, but we gotta go get him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you're stuck on a 20-minute trip, but,
And Miss Clark is on board for this?
100%.
I figured.
Yeah, she drove the whole thing on getting this.
Okay. Yes, okay. Any more questions for Mr. Hoball on this? Do I have a motion to approve the transportation routing program?
Yes.
I have a first from JD. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Emily. Any questions? There's been a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. All right, let's look at our discussion items. My favorite thing to discuss is the calendar. So, team, have you had a chance to look at Mr. Hoball's email with all of those goodies for the 27-28 school year? Crazy that we're thinking about it.
So I'll tell you right now, thank you, Dawn. I'll just explain what happened. I made this 2 years ago in the excitement, and I'm sorry for the three of us, of trying to figure out what day our eldest will be graduating high school.
Okay?
And when I did it, I botched up some of the dates in April and May, and so if you look at that version right there, you may be like, Dave, the dates are all wrong. So Dawn came to me and said, Dave, the dates are all wrong. So we did get that part fixed. But I'm open to any other things you guys may see, you know what I mean, in terms of if there's like just corrections in terms of those types of things. I just always keep in mind, same thing I told the association, we gotta go 180 days of school. And I feel like the unwritten, written rules around here are, you're gonna graduate on Memorial Day weekend, and the teachers do not wanna start in July.
Right.
So that pins things down a little bit. There's still some, movement in there. I'll take this to all the teachers and present it to them so they can have input on it, on whatever people are thinking.
Yes.
It'll be like a lot of things, half the people want one thing and half want the
Yep,
other,
yep.
so I'll just be the bad guy and pick.
Yes. So how dense I am, I didn't realize that this is a big year for me in 2027, 28.
Yeah, that graduation date's gonna
Yeah.
mean a lot to three of us.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You get old. Jeez.
okay. Now that you threw that at me,
Sorry.
Mr. Hobart.
There you go.
I was just excited at the time to be like, when's he graduating?
Oh,
Not that I wanted to leave, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's finally
Yeah.
getting close.
I'm not ready. Can
No.
we not approve this
Well,
for another
we got
couple
two more
years?
years.
Okay, 2 more,
And
maybe
it's gonna be
3.
like that.
I know.
Yeah, like
will.
that, because the first 2 went that way. Okay, and this is just our first draft?
Exactly.
Yes, it's just our first draft.
Looking
Okay.
at things like, traditionally, we look at stuff like, just so you know, I call them highlights. Put in the 4-day weekend at Labor Day,
Mm-hmm.
and mainly because it's a long stretch from the beginning of August to get all the way to fall break and have maybe 1 day off. So I've heard from teachers before, they really enjoy the fact that like, it's a nice place to throw a day in to make a 4-day weekend. And I know a lot of families go places on Labor Day anyway, so it adds a day that, you maybe get away or do whatever you're
I
trying to do
think it's
there.
just the best way to do it, because in our community, we want to be out before Memorial Day
Yeah.
and then not start. So I think that the way, but I noticed there is no day in March for, and then maybe you just have, so we're still going to,
SAT.
yes, for the SAT.
It's
Kids,
SAT day.
yeah,
We all go to school except for 3 classes.
good. That's,
That's why I left on the calendar in that way.
thank you. You know,
Yeah,
that's
but
the
the high
most
school at
important
this
thing.
point, I think would still be doing the
Okay,
sophomore.
so.
And I'm hoping by that point, maybe we can work on like a community service day for those kids, or, trying to work on some other things more than just
Yeah.
like
Go home and do e-learning.
e-learning.
I think that
Like,
would be
If we can
great.
find some other, especially that ties into the new diploma tracks.
Yep.
Because that's a piece of it.
Yep.
So we gotta build to that. That's a couple years out, but trying to work on some of those. Fall break, I do believe will match up. We do the best we can to try to match up with Area 31.
Mm-hmm. It does.
From what I understand, that should work.
Mhm.
It's either that week or the next week, because usually you guys have 2 weeks off at
Yep.
Wayne.
Yep, it matches up.
But that matches up. Spring break is the last week of March.
Mm-hmm, matches up.
Traditionally here, what I was told, but I'm open to ideas, is that wherever April 1st falls, if it's on a Saturday, spring break's the week before. If it's on a Sunday, it's the week after.
I've not heard that rationale.
That's what I was told.
It's
Mr. Ward's
true.
agreeing.
Really?
There you go.
Been that way for many, many years.
So,
Highway
just,
County all has the same spring break.
okay.
So then, if you're looking at this April, then how Mr. Hoball and Don put it in there, it would be accurate, because the first is on a Saturday.
Yep. And then next year, in 29, it'd be the first week of April.
Okay.
So, it's just interesting to me, because I know I got other school corporations I've talked to lately, they're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
got spring break in 2 weeks. I'm like,
Yeah,
or in 1 week, like, it's coming up for them now, so I was like,
No,
oh,
yeah.
interesting. It would just make us a later spring break. The only piece we'll have to watch on that's when they move iLearn calendars around and what
Yes.
that looks like, but.
yes,
um,
yeah. I
And
don't know
then,
when they close
I
this
could just
year.
say, when the teacher association we discussed today,
Yes, what they
it's
say.
just, there is a little bit of flex room, because that last week, before we graduate, there's like 2 empty days there.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's a chance to put another day off somewhere if we want, what do we want to, and then 3 days that week.
Sure.
There's opportunities, so.
Did they
but-
have any suggestions that they were kind of thinking?
The only other thing that comes up every time is like, once you come back after spring break, that run all the way to the end of the school year can get long
Mm-hmm.
without a day in there too, but you gotta be careful because it's iLearn.
Yes.
It's AP testing. I mean, it's a lot of different tests going
What
on in
about
there.
just the 5th? Like the April 5th, so when the kids are supposed to come back on April 5th?
That Monday,
Yeah,
that was the day they brought up actually, off the top of their heads.
great minds.
I would probably prefer to make that a snow makeup day.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yes.
We run into what we ran into this year and
Uh-huh.
don't get a winner, but,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an idea, yeah.
Yeah, just throw that out there. I'm anxious to
Perfect.
see what your teachers say
And
once
if
you
you guys
go.
look at it and have feedback, and you're thinking, hey, I thought this may look good, fantastic, and we'll see what the teachers say, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then will you bring it to us again next month?
That's the plan.
And then all your teachers will have seen it by then and given their feedback?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Hoball, the first reading policies on wellness.
So the wellness policy by the state of Indiana basically got just totally overhauled. Our wellness policy really doesn't fit very well with all the things we have to have. So I had the Indiana School Board Association provide me with a new wellness policy, went through the policy, and basically I'm coming to you. Traditionally, what we do in policies is a first reading, which is basically just like, here we go, look at it, see what you think. We can take changes all the way up until next month when we bring it back and look to approve it either the way it is or with the recommended changes. So tonight is more just awareness, putting it out there. And then next month would be, if we have changes we want to make, that's fantastic. We look at that and then look to approve. But we kind of have to do something because they changed what it needs to look like.
Okay.
All right. All right, perfect. Then next month we'll hear from you and if we have things we want to add to.
Just let me know in the meantime.
Perfect.
Get me to see about making adjustments.
Speaking of the much needed spring break, it is very slowly creeping up, and that will be March 27th through April 3rd, 2026. And then we have a work session on April 14th at 5:30, and then our board meeting is directly after that at 6:30, April 14th. Any last minute comments for the good of the group? Good. Our meeting is adjourned.